guys, Samantha from Samantha Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you a fun technique that is going to be kind of imitating scratched up metal, but with like a patina on it. But we're only going to be using clay for it, so there's not going to be any mixed mediums like alcohol, ink, or even swelligant in this. So anyway, these are the colours I'm going to be using. This is Primo Pomegranate, Primo Cadmium Yellow, Primo Navy, and Primo White. And just so you know what they look like roughly in the packets, it's Sculpey Primo. Now, we are going to be making some colours. There's not going to be any specific colour recipes here. Basically, I've just got the clay and I'm going to want a orange, so I'm going to cut a little bit of the red and a little bit of the yellow, roughly equal, and that is one colour recipe. Then I also want a green, so I'm going to cut off a bit of the yellow and a bit of the blue, and that's going to give us a bit of a red. I also want a lighter blue, so I'm going to take that and some of the white, and I'm also going to do the same with the red because I want kind of a pink, so I'll cut a bit of that, and that will be that colour recipe. I've got a lot of yellow here, so I'm going to not use all of that, and I'll put these four aside for later on, but these little pieces I'm just going to mix up, and then we're going to just use the colours that we get from them. Okay, and here are the colours. This is the white and navy blue. This is the navy blue with the cadmium yellow. This is the pomegranate red with the white. And this is the pomegranate red with the yellow. This is the only one I'm not happy with. And what I'm going to do is, it's nowhere near orange enough, so I'm going to put in a little bit of white. And I'm actually going to put in the rest of the yellow that we cut away and said we're not going to use. We are going to end up using that. And I will mix that in and get a orange from that. Okay, and there we go. That's much closer to orange. You could add more yellow if you wanted to get it to be even more orange. Now I'm just going to take these pieces and I'm also going to roll them out. Same setting as these ones, which is the thickest one on my pasta machine. Okay, and there we go. We've got the yellow, the blue, and the red. Now this one its own is a bit all over the place. What we're going to do is we're going to be creating some skinner blends. So we're going to use these three for one layer. So put those to the side. And these ones we will use on another layer. We're going to be making a skinner blend. I'm not going to use all of this. I want to use about the same amount as the rest of this. And all you're going to do is you're going to form them into rough triangles. This technique that I'm doing today is very approachable, very easy. You don't need to be precise at all. This is supposed to just be really fun. And yeah, just have a lot of fun with it. Don't worry about getting things absolutely perfect. So just take them and form them into rough triangles. If you want to cut those out with the cutter or even use your blade, then you can do that. But I'm just going to squish them into the right shape. Like so. There we go. Then I'm going to take the red and I'm going to put that up against the pink. Then I'll take the orange. And I'll just stretch that out a little more. I'm going to put that there. And take the yellow and I'll put that in that spot as well. There we go. And then when we do this, it's going to give us a rough skinner blend. Just take the triangles on the ends and you can just pop them there so that it's a little more even. There we go. And this is quite a wide skinner blend, so I'll just bump these pieces up a little bit. Get them to squish against one another. Okay, there we go. Then Then pop that through your pasta machine until blended. If you haven't done a skinner blend before and want to know how to do it, I have a detailed tutorial on my channel showing how to do it properly. This is quite a messy version of what it is. Just simply type in the search bar on the channel skinner blend and a couple should come up. Now I'm going to roll it through and I'm going to blend it. I'm also going to do the same with this one, and the blend is going to be in this order: the green, the blue, the light blue, and that's going to be a blend as well. Okay, and there we go, got the two blends, and it really is just kind of blurring the colours together. It's not a true skinner blend, but that's exactly what we want really. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it again, and this is because I want to stretch it out, because this isn't long enough. I want it to be even further. I will do the exact same for this one, just squish out those air bubbles. Okay, and then just give the blend a good stretch by running it through the pasta machine. Okay, and there we go. I'm going to put this to the side just so it is out of the way, and I'm going to work with this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it up from the yellow end to the pink end. And you can do it the opposite way if you want to. It does not have to be this way specifically. It can be pink to yellow, whichever colour you want to be the centre of the cane we're making. There we go. Do the exact same for this one, and I'm going to make the blue the centre. There we go. Then just going to squish them down slightly so it flattens out their tops. And this is going to be our top piece, and you'll see what I mean by that in a bit. I'm just going to take a blade and I'm going to cut that. And you can see there it is not a completely smooth blend, which is exactly what I want. I don't want it to be smooth. I want there to just be general colour smudging. Oops, daisy. Okay, and I'm just going to cut out probably 3 pieces, not including the, well, 4 if you include the first piece we did there. Okay. Put those to the side, go do the same with this one. Okay, so I've got enough for one earring here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to run them out my second thinnest setting just to stretch them out quite a bit and make them very thin. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to grab some white, just a little bit, and I'm going to run that out on the thinnest setting as well. And there we go, and they come out quite scraggly because it's a really thin setting. That is perfectly fine, so don't worry about that. These we're going to put down last. We're going to work with these ones first. And what you're going to do is you're just going to rip that, lay that down, rip again, and just lay that down a number of times, creating almost the same effect that you would with a torn paper technique. And this is supposed to be messy, we're going to be antiquing it later. The inspiration was kind of scratch metal. It's not going to end up actually looking like that. That's what I used as a starting point. And now we're just going to see where that goes from here. So just overlay it multiple times like that until you get enough space to, would-be space, to cut out your earring. And don't worry if it's thin at the moment, because we are going to be putting down multiple layers and we will be putting a backing on as well. So you want these to be as thin as you can get them. Okay, and that should do. Then I am going to grab the white, and along one of these edges, whichever one you think would be best covered up. So I'm going to go on this side. I'm going to lay down the white. And try to get nice scraggly edges if possible. So the white that I ran through the pasta machine was not conditioned. That's the best way to kind of get it to have a ripped edge. You could even dry the clay out as well to get yourself a dry edge or a kind of messy edge. There we go. We just need one layer. Then grab your piece. Let's see, which one do I want to work with first? This one will work. Going to rip that down the middle to start with. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to leave a thin outline of white. These are really thin and sticky. There we go. Just going to leave a thin outline of white, and we'll probably have enough here to actually make 2 earrings, or a pair of earrings I should say, because this is going to be a line in the middle of the piece, so we should have enough here. But I'm going to do exactly what I did over here, just with the other blend that we have. Okay, and there we go. That's how it should look. Going to just very carefully lift this up because it is incredibly thin. There you can see what the back looks like. This definitely looks best. We're going to burnish it a bit later on once we've put the backing on. This is your chance to make another veneer if you want to. You can make the back plain as plain black. You can make the same veneer again. I'm going to put this to the side and see about using the rest of this, because we actually didn't use as much as I thought we would. Okay. And let's try something out. We might as well, since we've got it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, cut this one in half as well, then cut it into quarters. Okay. And I'm going to take those, and I'm going to pop them together like so. Okay. Squish that. Do the same with these ones. Actually, won't do the same since we've got one piece here, so I'll put that to the side. These I'll do something else with. I'm going to just squish them so that they're almost petal shaped. Like so. Very quick and easy if the clay is decently conditioned and soft. There we go, doesn't have to be exact. And I'm going to put them together pretty much the same as we did with the other one. Here we go. And then I'm going to form that into a triangle. Or I'll form it into a square first. There we go. Then the tips I'm going to just squish down into a triangle. Like so, while keeping this side flat. Okay. Then when we assemble that, we can kind of have that going in a radial pattern. So let me cut that off. And you can see there what it looks like. And I wouldn't put it together like this. I would need to flip it so that it would keep the pattern going. But you can see there roughly what it's going to look like. And I'm going to use this to make a pattern for our back. So I'll bring over my thin tissue blade and cut out some pieces. Like so. Trying to keep those all exactly, or at least close to the same thickness. And then I'll put the pieces together in a radial pattern. Like so. Making sure to keep that pattern going. And this is another way that you could use it if you don't like what I showed earlier. This is another thing that you can do. Obviously we've got the little cane off to the side here as well that you can use. So don't feel you have to do exactly what I'm doing. Have fun and yeah, just make something that you like. Go. And I think I'm only just going to have enough here. Squish that together. I should be able to get that in. Actually, no, I'm not, because it's not the right way around. So I'm going to just move these pieces together. If this is what you wanted to make all along, you could use a little more clay, because it is it does require a little more. There, I'm going to squish those in, pick that up, and the back's not going to look as good. The front looks quite nice. I'm going to just roll that out. Gently in multiple directions. And I'm not worried about keeping it symmetrical at this point. It's was an experiment. It would make a nice flower. I might revisit that and do it so that it's nice and symmetrical. For now, it's just a nice pattern for the back. Okay, and I'm just going to keep doing that until it can pretty much fit the whole piece that we've got here. Okay, so I've stretched it out, trying to keep the pattern as even as possible. And now I'm going to bring over my piece here. This is going to be the front, so turn this over. And I'm going to stick that on. Stretching it out a little bit more if I need to. But there we go, that should pretty much encompass it. Here we go. Then I'm going to use a piece of paper just to give it a light satin finish, just by burnishing it. And this time I'm not going to use a roller because I don't want to stretch the pattern at all. Place that over the top, and I'm going to use my fingers to go in circular motion over the piece. And because we've got it between two pieces of paper, it will also clean up the back. Okay, and there we go. Now I'm going to remove that from the paper. Might want to use a blade to do that. You can see the back there. We're going to sand it, so don't worry about it. Also, if you're noticing sparkly bits, the last project I did contained metal leaf and it is all over the place, despite having tried to clean it as best as possible. So that's why there's sparkly bits all over this. It's easy to sand off, so it's not something I'm too concerned about, but just in case you were wondering, that is why there is a bit of a shine to the piece. There we go, just going to pop that down, give that a little bit of a burnish onto the tile so that it doesn't stick in our cutter. I do want my piece to have a dome though, so I'm going to use some plastic wrap over the piece. Going to try to keep that as smooth as possible in the areas where I'm going to be cutting. And here is the cutter that I'm going to be using. It's an arch donut, which I think will look nice. And I'm going to do it at an angle, like so. Making sure that I am going to get the line of white like halfway through the middle part, because that's going to be our topper. And I'll give it a light cut. And I'm going slowly and kind of rocking a little bit back and forth so that the cling wrap doesn't get cut straight through, because that will provide some resistance on the piece or the cutter that I am using, and therefore give us a dome. Okay. There we go. I'm just making sure that I get a decently clean cut. That should work. Then I'm going to do the same, but just in the opposite direction on this side. Just see where about I want that, and then I'll cut that as well. There we go. Then remove the cling wrap. And it came away nice and clean that time. Sometimes it will stick in the middle and you'll need to pick that out. Then I'm going to go back in with the cutter and just make sure that I have a good clean cut, because the cling wrap usually resists the clay, and so there will be a little bit left to cut. So just go in and do that, and then you can remove this to get a really nice clean dough. Then you're going to pop that in the oven for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature, exactly as it is. Don't move it around if you can, so that you retain the shape. And yeah, bake that for a full hour, and then you can give it a little bit of a sand if it needs to, and then we can assemble. Okay, then once they are out of the oven and have cooled, you can give them a quick sand just to clean them up a little bit, and I've done that on both sides, leaving it with a matte finish. Then you're going to be drilling holes. I've already drilled a hole in this one already, and you're just going to use a pin drill for that. And the clay should be pretty easy to do this with. Just grab the drill and drill straight through, and this will give you a much cleaner hole with no distortion, and that's why I don't do it before baking. I always drill afterwards. And you can use a power drill if you want to. I like this because there is really no worry about it. Then I've got 2 copper jump rings. This is antiqued copper and a antiqued copper ear wire. And you can varnish these if you want to. I quite like the matte finish on them, so I'm not going to give them any kind of varnish, and I'm not going to sand them up to a high shine. I'm just going to leave them exactly as they are. Then the thinner the pieces are, the better this pot will go. So having thin pieces when attaching multiple to one another just makes it a lot easier, because the jump ring slides through and you don't need to work with really large jump rings for it. Okay. There we go. Easy. All done. And I have already finished off the other piece, and I'm just going to show you the backs there. It is wonderfully two-sided, so no side looks better than the other in my opinion. I actually quite like this side. It might end up being, I might actually prefer that, strangely enough. But yeah, here's the other one, also a reverse, which is nice. And yeah, I'm quite happy with how they turned out. They didn't end up being what I imagined them being, because I originally said that we were going to kind of create a scratched metal look. They did not come out that way. I ended up deviating quite drastically along the way, but I'm happy that I did. I think it looks nice. And yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments below if you liked it. Also, try out different colour combinations. It doesn't have to be the colours that I've used if they're not your kind of colour, so don't feel like you have to use exactly what I did. But yeah, if you liked it, let me know in the comments below. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, as it helps the channel out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.